Hello everyone! This is Running on Empty Food Review. Well, hello ladies, gentlemen, and everyone watching. Welcome one and all to this newest edition of the Running on Empty Food Review series. I'm your host, the Report of the Week. Thank you for checking in. KFC. They do this from time to time, and this is no exception. They will occasionally put out an item that gets a lot of people talking, and a lot of the time it's because of how ridiculous or bold the item in question may be. For instance, you could think all the way back to around 2009, 2010, when they released the Double Down sandwich. Then, a few years later, in 2020, they released some sort of creation that most people have forgotten, where it was 2 donuts with a piece of chicken sandwiched in between them. And KFC, it appears as though they've done it again. They have reinvented everything, because there are 2 things in this world that constitute everything: pizza and chicken, and that's it. There's nothing else. And they said, guess what? You thought you might know what's up? You thought wrong, because KFC has just premiered their new Chizza, as they call it, which essentially is chicken pizza. You could essentially get, or what you do get essentially, is 2 white meat chicken fillets. Then the chicken is topped with a zesty marinara sauce, mozzarella cheese, and pepperoni. And you have the fried chicken, their famous fried chicken, and it's topped like a pizza. And now it's pizza from KFC, or should I say done KFC style. This is the first time it's ever been released here in the United States. I will say, though, that this had been an international release previously. So, in the Philippines, for instance, India, Thailand, Germany, Spain, Mexico, and a few other countries, this item is either still on the menu or it has been released. So, I've been seeing some people saying, this has already been released before, and internationally it has been. This is just the first time it's here in the US. Now, you can get it in 2 sizes. You can get it as a small Chizza, which is just 1 chicken fillet. That's available at the price of around $7. Or you can get a regular Chizza, which is the 2 chicken fillets. That's what I got today, and that's available at the price of $12. So, pizza and the chicken, or as some people say, it's just a glorified, well, some people say anyway, it's like an Italian parm sandwich or something to that extent, or a chicken parm. I don't know how I feel about that, but that's what some people say. And nonetheless, it's here for a limited time. It's hard for me to even say this with a straight face because the name, it just keeps throwing me off. Chizza, that's Chizza, available at KFC, Kentucky Fried Chizza, or as some people call it, the Chizzeria. I've got it right here. Sometimes when you see it, it's going to be hard to take this thing seriously, but it comes in its own little box. There's the kernel right there. And my first impressions of it is that this seems to me like probably the gimmick of gimmicks, if you ask me. But is it any good? That's what I'll be finding out. And there it is, the Chizza. You could see it's chicken as the base, and then it has the marinara sauce atop, mozzarella cheese, and pepperoni. And again, this is the regular size one. This is what you'd be getting for around $12. And what I'm going to do next is grab a piece of Chizza. This looks like a decent piece right here. And you could get a closer look at it. So it's their extra crispy chicken, I should mention, and topped with the marinara sauce, cheese, and Daronis, right as they like to call it. Is it any good? That's what I'll be finding out momentarily. So, gimmicky or not, it's got people talking, but let's find out what it tastes like. The Chizza from KFC, it's going in. I just paused the camera just so that I made sure though you could see the first bite. So I tried it out, as you could see. It's very interesting. When I was seeing the reactions to it primarily, they were mixed. There were some people that were saying, this looks promising. Other people were saying, I don't know about this. It's especially KFC, right? It could go either way. And then there's a third group that sort of said, this thing is just wrong. This is one of those things that doesn't even have a right to exist. Yet here it is, this monster of sorts. And how dare they? They went too far, KFC did. You'll get some people saying that. I didn't know what to expect going in, because the last time I had KFC and did a review of them earlier in the year, my experience was not good at all. The quality of the item that I got at the time, these wraps that they had, was abysmal. It was absolutely horrible, and that left me feeling a little apprehensive, because even looking at the picture, it seems like it could go either way, and the picture might make it look a little undercooked, and all of that. So I didn't know what to expect. And I didn't have my hopes up, to be honest. Burger King did an item not quite like this, but they had their Italian-style chicken sandwich that they've re-released over and over again, and it was horrible. And a lot of these fast food places really struggle with the marinara sauce for some inexplicable reason. So I didn't really know what to expect going in, but you know what? Despite how tacky this item is, despite how gimmicky it is, despite how absurdly ridiculous I find the name to be, and the fact that I can't even say it without laughing, Chizza, right? It's actually not that bad. I have to be straightforward, it's not that bad. I was expecting it to be a whole lot worse than it actually is. Number one, the chicken. The chicken quality this time around I'm pleased with, I really am. There's a good amount of it, it's juicy, it's very tender, very flavorful, and it still has that crunchy, crispy exterior that you most definitely can taste, and I do like the sort of contradiction that it poses compared to, again, just that sort of succulent meat. So the chicken quality I am very happy with, and being that it comprises the base, there's a good amount of it, and of course you are tasting that iconic KFC chicken in every single bite. It's not overly greasy, it's not overly oily, it's not saturated in oil or anything, so that's good too. So the chicken quality I am totally fine with. The thing that pleasantly surprised me the most was the marinara sauce. As I said, a lot of these places, the marinara sauce, for some reason, they really struggle with it, and it just tastes like this just cheap, watered-down garbage that's either straight out of a can, that's probably been sitting on a shelf for years, or you either can barely taste it, or it's like got this weird sourness to it, and I've had that sort of experience so many times with fast food establishments. This, on the other hand, is actually robust, it's flavorful, it does have this nice zestiness to it, and I must say, that zesty note of the marinara sauce actually does a pretty good job, I think, moderating out what might otherwise be the saltiness that this item would possess. Because the pepperoni, totally standard pepperoni, exactly something that you would expect to see, on a pizza. But the pepperoni, of course, is going to be greasy and salty, a little hint of spice to it. The mozzarella cheese as well, going to have that little bit of saltiness, and then the chicken likewise. So it's that zesty note of the marinara sauce that balances everything out, and it prevents it from being what I feel otherwise would be an excessively salty item. So the mozzarella sauce, great touch there. No, mozzarella sauce, what am I even saying? The marinara sauce, great touch to it. The mozzarella cheese, lastly, that was one other thing that I was a little apprehensive about, because looking at the ad and the picture of it and all of that, it made it look like the cheese was undercooked. And again, I've had plenty of problems with a lot of items before, where the cheese won't be melted all the way, it will be undercooked, etc. This is one of those instances where looks may be deceiving, because the cheese most definitely is melted. It's most definitely melted. It doesn't all just, slide off or anything. It's not rubbery, it's not chewy. The cheese is totally fine, standard mozzarella. Not the most outrageous thing in the world, nothing that I could really go on and on about. The cheese, it's just cheese. This isn't going to be the cheesiest item either. So if you see the name Chizza and you think it's because it's supposed to be so cheesy, it's really just because it's chicken and pizza. It's not the cheesiest thing in the world, but you taste it. But really what strikes out to me is that marinara sauce. Very pleasant, positive touch. And quite frankly, it's not bad. It's gimmicky, it's silly, but as far as what it tastes like, not bad at all. It is slightly overpriced. This was $12, but there's a good amount of the food at least. Decent portion. Tastes good. It's a gimmick. This is like one of the most, I'd say, social media gimmicky items I've seen in a while. So this is something to say, oh, look, I got it. I got the Chizza. I went over with the boys to the cheeseria, right? And you could say something like that. If it's of interest to you, I would say maybe get it once. Probably won't need to get it again. It's a gimmick, but all things concerned, not bad. So therefore, out of 10, I am going to give the Chizza from KFC an 8 out of 10. Quality is better than I expected it to be, and that's all that I have for you. Sorry if this seemed a little rushed. I just wanted to give a quick and straightforward assessment, and that's all that I have. Until next time, I'm your host, The Report of the Week.